Hello, you are watching the latest edition of DBE News. You can catch this bulletin every Friday at 12 p.m. on the DBE TV channel 122 if you have an open view decoder, or Bricks TV channel 509 at 4:30 in the afternoon if you are a StarSat subscriber, or watch it on the Department of Basic Education's YouTube channel. Remember to share the link with your friends, family and anyone in your circles. My name is Tsehohajo Moaghin. The top stories this week. Minister Angie Motshekga leads a workshop on the quality of learning and teaching campaign. KwaZulu-Natal MEC Kwazim Shengu gets an independent panel to look into allegations of racism and corruption at a Durban school. The department remains committed to promoting a healthy school environment. And International Mother Language Day is commemorated yearly on the 21st of February. More in the bulletin about what the department did this year. Remember to get in touch with us on our social media platforms. On Twitter at DBE_SA and at DBE TV News. Facebook DBE SA, Instagram DBE SA. You can use the hashtag DBE News. Let's start here. With schools having returned to daily attendance after 2 years of rotational learning due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the focus is now on the quality of teaching and learning in schools. Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga addressed a workshop of the Quality and Teaching campaign which was held in the East Rand. In her address, she reminded stakeholders that the workshop's objectives are to reposition, strengthen, advance, redirect, review and re-evaluate the Quality Learning and Teaching campaign's work. She also spoke against the campaign being used for political gain. The campaign was established in 2008 as a vehicle that the department and its partners used to re-emphasize the fact that education is a societal matter. Motshekga also raised concerns about security at schools and has called on civil society and communities to ensure schools are seen as safety nets for learners. She says although people have the right to protest, no protest action should lead to a school being burnt or vandalized, and this can be achieved if communities worked hand in hand with the Basic Education Department.
We also know that there are some sections in our sector which are working well. So that through QLTC we say, where it works well, what are the things that we're doing well? And I can tell you, just from the visits that we're conducting, to say where it works well, it's where the partnerships are strong. It's not only about teaching and dedication, nothing. If I visit a school and don't see this SGB, then I know I'm going to really get, it's trouble. We went to a school in Delmas, and when we asked them to say, how did you learn? I mean, they were 90%, suddenly that 30-something%. I said, you can't fall like you're falling from a tree. What has happened? There's COVID. It didn't affect you only. You really felt like you really dropped from a tree. And things that drop in the tree are normally, they have rotted. A fresh fruit doesn't drop on its own. By the time it drops, it means it's actually rotting. And I said to them, and I know what you're going to tell me. You're going to tell me about parents and learners and not about yourself. And indeed, they said these learners are ill-disciplined, blah, blah, blah. Parents are not supportive. I said, I know the answer. It's a standard answer. Where schools don't perform, it's learners and teachers and the community. Where it performs well, if I go to 100% school and ask the principal, how do we get it right? First, I know the SGB is going to be there. And I know I'm going to be welcomed this speech by a young student. So you can see partnership itself. But all principals of functional schools will praise their parents, how much their parents support them, will praise how their learners cooperate with them, and then speak about themselves, how they try their best.
Meanwhile, the department also hosted a training workshop for examiners and internal moderators. This follows observations from the previous exams and information gathered from various reports. The workshop aims to improve the quality of the question papers and eliminating unnecessary errors and ensuring fairness so that learners are not disadvantaged.
We receive feedback, after our question papers are written, we receive feedback from, the media will criticize our papers, they scrutinize our papers a lot, but we get very qualitative feedback from marking, so the internal moderators in the marking centers send us feedback. And then we also benchmark our question papers against other, assessment bodies, be it international. We also benchmark against our own USAF. And all that feedback that we receive, we want to incorporate it in our current question papers so that, of course, our quality and the standard of our question papers are good and comparable, against other assessment bodies.
Coming up, we go to KwaZulu-Natal, where racism allegations at a school in Durban are being investigated.
The Integrated School Health Program is a partnership between the Department of Basic Education, the Department of Health, as well as the Department of Social Development. It was launched in 2012 by the then President of the country. We have linked up every school to a health clinic and a named school health nurse, so that when we are finding cases, for example, of children or even educators that are symptomatic, we isolate them in a dedicated area and then we get in touch with the school health team. Schools, as we know, serve many needs that the children have. They serve an education need, but they do more than that. They serve the social needs of children. We also are able to serve their nutrition needs through school feeding. Health services are provided, so issues around immunization, for example, and health education are covered within schools. We are also a forum wherein we can provide psychosocial support to our children. And in many ways, what COVID-19 has done is to bring to the fore a whole lot of the issues that we've already been dealing with within our society. And so really opening schools again and getting children to come into school again is meeting many more of the needs than what is evident from people outside. Our schools provide safety for our children, away from the negative influences and the abuse that they sometimes are faced with in communities.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. The KwaZulu-Natal Education Department has roped in an independent team to investigate allegations of racism and corruption at Grosvenor Girls High School. MEC Kwazim Shengu visited the school following the allegations, which led to a silent protest by learners. Mshengu met with the parents and learners to get an understanding of the situation at the school. He has called for calm as the investigations get underway. During his address to learners, Mshengu said the department wants to ensure all learners feel safe and not victimized while at school.
Here we want to make sure that we facilitate a conducive environment for teaching and learning. An environment where no one will feel excluded, victimized, marginalized, and all sorts of things. We want you to come to the school with a single mind to get taught so that you are able to pursue your careers beyond these years of schooling. Ultimately, all of you must leave the school. And when you leave the school, you must be well prepared to pursue your careers. We don't want a situation where we mess up things here such that your future is impacted or negative. There are many people across the country who messed with their future while they are still at the school level. Because everything that you do on a daily basis determines how your future will look like.
Now, the Basic Education Department is determined to promote a healthy school environment by promoting the general health and well-being of learners and educators. Together with the Department of Health, they are implementing the Integrated School Health Program which offers a comprehensive and integrated package of services, including sexual and reproductive health services for older learners.
Its intention, in particular for the Department of Basic Education, is to ensure that we identify learners with health barriers that will inhibit them from learning. It is embedded within a primary health care approach, which is the prevention of illnesses and promotion of health. So we then screen learners for a number of health conditions that will prevent from learning. So we screen them for vision, oral health, hearing, body mass index, obesity, and other non-communicable diseases. We have programs that are running throughout the year. For instance, the screening of learners, which targets grade RN1, grade 4, grade 8, and grade 10. So we do the screening, we do health education as the department, which is our core function, health education, but other departments, such as the Department of Health, they bring services to learners through the school health nurses, and social development focuses on the mental health wellness of learners.
The program includes a large component of health education for each of the 4 school phases, such as how to lead a healthy lifestyle and drug and substance abuse awareness, health screening for vision, hearing, oral health and tuberculosis, and on-site services dealing with deworming and immunization.
Currently, we've got a number of campaigns that are currently being implemented in schools. One of those is the deworming campaign, where we get a donation from the World Health Organization to provide learners with mebendazole tablets that eliminates worms. We target mostly the schools where we are. This is a complementary program for the schools where we are providing school nutrition program, so that we ensure that we provide healthy meals to healthy learners. This is also coupled with the HPV vaccination, which is a vaccination against the human papillomavirus, which is the cervical cancer. This program is targeting grade 5 girls, and they get a 2-dose vaccine, the first dose being currently now. The campaign started on the 1st of February and it's ending on the 31st of March. We'll then have the second dose after 6 months, which is starting in September. We are also have coupled this with COVID-19 vaccination. As you are aware, our schools, our learners have returned full-time to schools, and we do believe that vaccination is one way that will stabilize the system and will enable learners to continue with learning.
Stay tuned. Coming up, we get more information about how the department commemorated International Mother Language Day.
I am a nurturer, like you.
Real men stand against gender-based violence.
Make it part of the new normal for young boys to be nurtured and loved, to freely express themselves and to show love in a safe, inclusive way. We have different gender identities, but first, we are human. If you need assistance to help your child, contact Childline on 08000 55 555. I hate it when someone violates me, like you.
In a violent situation, there is power in walking away. I will not take part in fights at school.
Make it part of the new normal for young boys to be nurtured and loved, to freely express themselves and to show love in a safe, inclusive way. We have different gender identities, but first, we are human. If you need assistance to help your child, contact Childline on 08000 55 555.
Welcome back. The Basic Education Department says it is important that learners speak their mother language while at school and at home. During International Mother Language Day, which takes place each year on the 21st of February, Minister Angie Motshekga joined the Eastern Cape Education Department at a seminar in promoting the use of one's mother language. UNESCO says linguistic diversity is increasingly threatened as more and more languages disappear. One language disappears on average every 2 weeks, taking with it an entire cultural and intellectual heritage. However, progress is being made in mother tongue-based multilingual education with growing understanding of its importance, particularly in early schooling, and more commitment to its development in public life.
We sit here now as grandparents. Abantu bethu bazanezulu ziyakhumsha ebusuku udini ovele emsebenzini abantu abayakhumsha ufuna ukubathanda kahle so bathanda nje nje ukuthi hey uyapreach because there's nothing that allows you ukuthi nithethe nincokole nomntwana thetha isilungu udiniwe ke that time ukhumshe ndaba endlini ngoba hi boy hi sizothi hayi uNkulunkulu wethu singoma ukuthi besikhumshiswa abantwana ngexesha it's a language of business. It dictates a very formal interaction. And here you are home, you want to really want to udlasa abantwana ngixesha ukuthetha into ethile ngofanele ukhumshe ngoku uyakhumsha ebusuku midiniwe uyakhumsha yena ke apha. So it is a problem that we really have to liberate our people and our children to say it's, and as I say HOD makes lots of examples about how problematic the language issue is in our schools, in our communities, and in our society. And as soon as we liberate people in terms of language and culture, we won't be able to liberate them. Those years back, there was a longitudinal study which was done around kids who went to private schools that time, and kids who went to township schools, of which careers they chose and where did they end up. I'm not saying this is the picture now, but by then it was a very sad picture. And I'm not undermining any other sector and any other profession. But we found that kids who went to a school, they just didn't go into some of these careers that we wanted to encourage people to go to. As I guess from the township, Dr. Dlamini, are your top scientists.
That's how we end this bulletin on Channel 122 on OpenView, on YouTube, and on BRICS TV Channel 509 Starset. But before we go, the Department of Basic Education is appealing to parents to return their children back to school. A recent study has revealed that over 158,000 learners have not returned to the classroom. In order for there to be no more learning losses and to curb the dropout rate, the department is urging parents and communities to ensure learners are at school and in class on a daily basis. Thank you for watching.